invade. In other words, what Enlil was afraid of, and Anu was really king, Anu back in Nibiru with him, is Marduk had married Sarpanit, a earthling, and he was aligned with Shamgaz, who was head of the astronaut corps, and they took over the landing platform in Lebanon, and Enlil realized that Marduk was taking over. He had so Enlil had his son Ninurta build another spaceport at the top of the Andes, in Nazca, and because he knew they were going to get off, and it was his idea. He wanted this illegal species, that's us, to all drown, and he absolutely made sure that was going to happen. Now the Earthlings at Sharubak, where Ziasutra lived under Enki and Nimrod's tutelage, sent Ziasutra to Enki in the Persian Gulf. Please do something. But Enki said he couldn't openly help them because Commander Enlil had forbidden them. But he said, the policy of Enlil protest. Boycott the worshipping of the gods. So he told Ziasutra Noah, listen, the commander, I can't come out against him, but you don't have to keep supporting them. Enki secretly fed the Earthlings from his corn, and he gave them access to the seas, and he taught them how to fish there. He was really trying to make them survive, whereas Enlil was trying to kill them all. So Enlil confronted Enki, but Enki said, gee, I don't know how the Earthlings learned how to fish in the ocean. Unable then to starve the Earthlings to extinction, Enlil planned to let Nibiru's next nearing, that's called perigee, destroy them. After each 3,000, the way this works, every 3,600 years, Nibiru comes closest to our sun, and it makes all these volcanoes on Nibiru, and it makes huge flares on the sun. It disturbs the atmosphere on Mars and Earth, and things are really getting very, very bad now that Noah, Ziasutra, has grown into a young man, and then a middle-aged man, and Enki's son, who ran the weather station down at the bottom of South Africa, said that the Antarctic ice sheet was slipping in the ocean, and the very next time Nibiru came by, which is going to be 13,000 years from now, this ice was going to slip into the South Sea, and great surges would reverberate and inundate all Earth, except for the Great Peaks. Enlil said, we've sent enough gold to the home planet. We're all going to go home. Let the sea drown these darn Earthlings. Okay, now here's what Enki says.
Wait, we're going to take a brief commercial break, and we'll be back in a few minutes. Hi, we're back. This is Janet Kier Lesson and Dr. Sasha Lesson. We're now going to read from the 9th tablet of the Lost Book of Enki.
Starts with there.
Starting right here. In the Eden, Lumash was the workmaster. Quotas to enforce was his duty. The earthlings' rations to reduce was his task. His spouse was Batanash, the daughter of Lumash's father's brother she was.
Oh, it's his father's brother, his uncle.
Brother,
I got it wrong, yeah.
Of a beauty outstanding she was. By her beauty was Enki charmed. Enki to his son Marduk a word did send. To your domain Lumash do summon. How by earthlings a city to build there him teach. And when Lumash to the domain of Marduk was summoned, to the household of Nimah and Sharubak, the haven city, his spouse Batanash he brought. From the angry earthling masses protected and safe to be. Thereafter Enki, his sister Nimah, and Shubarak was quick to visit. Excuse me. On the roof of a dwelling where Batanash was bathing, Enki by her loins took her, he kissed her, his semen into her womb he poured. With the child Batanash was, her belly was truly swelling. To Lumash from Sharubak, word was sent. To the Eden return, a son you have. To the Eden, to Sharubak, Lumash returned. To him Batanash the sun showed. White as the snow his skin was, the color of wool was his hair. Like the skies were his eyes, in a brilliance were his eyes shining. Amazed and frightened was Lumash. To his father Matushal he hurried. A son unlike an earthling to Batanash was born. By his birth greatly puzzled I am. Matushal to Batanash came. The newborn boy he saw. By his likeness amazed he was. Is one of the Ajiji the boy's father? Of Batanash Matushal the truth demanded.
The AGG are the astronauts.
Right, they're the Martians. To Lumash, your spouse, whether this boy his son is the truth reveal. None of the Ajiji is the boy's father. Of this upon my life I swear. So did Batanash him answer. Of course it was Enki, and he wasn't one of the Ajiji, haha. Excuse me. To his son, Lumash Matushal then turned, a calming arm on his shoulders he put. A mystery the boy is, but in his oddness an omen to you is revealed. Unique he is, for a task unique by destiny he was chosen. What a task is, I know not. In time appropriate, known it shall become. So was Matushal to his son Lumash saying, to what on earth was transpiring he was alluding.
In those days, the suffering on earth was increasing. The days colder grew. The skies their rains were holding back. Fields their crops diminished. In the sheepfolds, ewe lambs were few. Let the son to you born, unusual as he is, an omen be that a respite is coming. So did Matushal to his son Lumash say. Let respite be his name. To Matushal and Lumash, Batanash her son's secret did not reveal. Ziasutra, he of the long bright life days, she called him, Ziasutra. In Sharubak he was raised. That's in the medical center. Nimah, on the child her protection and affection bestowed. Of much understanding, Ziasutra was endowed. With knowledge he was by Nimah God provided. Enki, Ziasutra greatly adored. To read the writings of Adapa he taught. The priestly rites how to observe and perform, the boy as a young man learned. In the 110th Shar, rotation of Nibiru around its primary nemesis, was Ziasutra born. In Sharubak he grew up and espoused Amzara, and Amzara bore him 3 sons, and we'll come back to those sons. in his days the sufferings of earth intensified. Plagues and starvations grew. And we are going to leave you with this. Rains are going to come, and a flood is going to come, and tune in next time and find out what happens.
Well, I wanted to wait a little bit about that before we sign off.
Okay.
Come closer here. So the the hype on 12-21-12, that didn't happen. And I think what they were alluding to is that there is this time where they have these great earth changes.
You mean the harmonica virgins didn't play?
No, that was in 1984. But there is a time when Nibiru returns, and Nibiru's return does not always bring great trials and tribulations to the earth, because we're talking about the 110th Shar. And that was since the Anunnaki started counting the years. They came here 450,000 years ago. So that was 110 times Nibiru had come through. And so here it was a time where they were going to have a great catastrophe. So it doesn't happen every time. So this whole hype on 12-21-12, it may not happen this time.
21-12 wasn't even when Nibiru was coming. Nibiru is in Sagittarius. It's what was coming through is the Lagrange points at 180 degrees along the orbital path of Nibiru.
Can you explain what Lagrange points are, honey?
Yes, every planetary body that has that goes around a primary, or goes around a star. In this case, Nibiru goes around a star called Nemesis, a subdwarf. Dark star. But in any case, every time it goes around, it has a path. That path is called its ecliptic and or orbit. And when Nibiru and its moons crashed into the proto-Earth, Tiamat, and created the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, and knocked Earth into its present orbit between Venus and Mars, all the asteroids and the comets and all these things were scattered along the path, and gravity makes some of this detritus, some of the comets, some of the asteroid bits stay at the same distance from the planet. So at 180 degrees away from Nibiru, as far from Nibiru as it can possibly get, is a whole bunch of junk, and there's a hole in the asteroids known as the Kuiper Gap, and that's where we get all kinds of disturbances, objects, really sometimes big meteorites, enough to cause extinction level events even, that come through, and sometimes they come through and sometimes they don't, but that's what we just passed through, and that's what 2012 was, and Nibiru ain't going to be here for quite a while.
Do you have any idea how many? Is it hundreds? I thought that Sitchin thought it was around 2100 that Nibiru was returning.
Yeah, if it's in Sagittarius now, and that's halfway, you just say half of 36 is 18, right? So you can expect it in 180 years.
Yeah. Anyway,
1,800 in 1,800 years. Whatever that would be, that's when Nibiru itself will come through, according to the calculations from Andy Lloyd.
So do you think that this Noah's